The internet exploded. What duffel bag? Was it the one seen in the tactical gear? Chaos reached its peak. A cryptic tweet from Charleston White sent a fresh wave of panic through the community. You'll think the fight was a headline. Wait until you find out who was actually driving that Cybertruck before it went up in flames. It wasn't King. It was a witness. The industry is paralyzed. The fans are divided. And as the 6 p.m. As the confession deadline approaches, one thing is certain. Whether T.I. apologizes or doubles down, the Harris name will never mean the same thing again. The public has issued its verdict, but the real sentencing is about to happen on a global stage. The clock finally hit 6 p.m. Millions of people were glued to T's Instagram page, refreshing every millisecond, waiting for the final confession. The world expected a tearful apology, a long-winded explanation, or maybe a full retirement announcement. But when the screen finally lit up, it wasn't T's face that appeared. It wasn't even the studio. The video was a live feed from a high-security, underground parking garage. The camera was stable this time, professional, cold, and cinematic. In the center of the frame sat King Harris, but he wasn't bruised. He wasn't in a hospital gown. He was dressed in a sharp black suit, sitting behind a desk, looking more like a CEO than a rebel. He looked directly into the lens with a smile that can only be described as chilling. The ultimate betrayal. "Y'all thought I accidentally hit go live?" King asked, his voice calm and mocking. "I've been playing the game since I was a kid. You think the King of the South is the only one who knows how to move in silence?" Then came the final shocking revelation that changed every single thing we thought we knew. King reached into his jacket and pulled out a digital tablet. He flicked the screen toward the camera, showing a legal document signed and notarized just 48 hours ago. It wasn't a lawsuit. It was a transfer of ownership, Grand Hustle, the royalties, the masters, the name T.I. "It doesn't belong to my father anymore," King whispered. "He didn't attack me because he was disappointed. He attacked me because he realized I had outsmarted him. I own the throne now, literally." The duffel bag truth. But wait. What about the ambulance? What about the duffel bag and the scorched Cybertruck? King leaned forward, his eyes turning cold. The person in that ambulance. That was the lawyer who tried to hide the paperwork. And that duffel bag. Let's just say it contained the only physical copies of the confession my father is planning to make. Suddenly, the camera panned to the left and the internet's heart stopped. There in the shadows sat T.I. He wasn't the king. He was handcuffed to a metal pipe, his head hanging low, looking like a defeated man. He wasn't the aggressor. He was the prisoner. King Harris hadn't been crashing out. He had been orchestrating the greatest corporate takeover in hip-hop history. The Pikachu arrests, the Waffle House drama, the 50 Cent beef. It was all a massive multi-year smokescreen to make T.I. believe his son was a failure while King was secretly buying up his father's debt and music rights through front companies. The king didn't lose his cool. King Harris sneered as he stood up to walk away. The king lost his empire. And the best part? You all watched me do it live. Just as King was about to cut the feed, a loud metallic banging echoed through the garage. Heavy boots, flashlights, and the sound of a SWAT team breaching the doors. King didn't look scared. He looked at the camera one last time and said, "Wait until they find out what's actually under the floor of the studio. Part 2 is going to be a movie." The screen went black. A single white line of text appeared. The new reign begins. May 15th. Is King Harris the greatest villain in rap history? Is T.I. truly a prisoner of his own son? And what is buried under the Grand Hustle studio floor that King is so confident about? The world is in total shock. This isn't gossip anymore. This is a dynasty in ashes, and the prince just lit the final match. Was this the greatest betrayal in the history of hip-hop? Or is King Harris actually a genius playing a 4D game of chess? The throne has been seized, the king is in chains, and the Grand Hustle legacy is burning to the ground right before our eyes. But the biggest question remains: what is buried under that studio floor? Drop your theories in the comments. Is King a hero, or a cold-blooded villain? Smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications right now, because part 2 drops soon, and you won't believe the evidence we've uncovered. Don't get left behind. MHM. The world of hip-hop just stopped breathing. We've seen the arguments, we've heard the threats, but nobody, and I mean nobody, was prepared for what just leaked from a private North Atlanta studio. This isn't a reality show clip, and it isn't a scripted stunt. This is the bone-chilling moment King Harris accidentally hit go live during a brutal physical confrontation with his father, T.I. You're about to see the raw footage that the Harris family tried to bury. The lunges, the screams, and the shocking betrayal that has officially ended the King of the South's legacy. If you think you know the truth, you're dead wrong. Stay right there, because what happened after the phone hit the floor will haunt you forever. To understand the blood-chilling chaos that unfolded in that North Atlanta studio, you have to realize that the Harris family hasn't been a family for a long time. It's been a battlefield. For over 2 decades, Clifford Joseph Harris Jr., the legendary T.I., has sat on a throne he built out of the red clay of Georgia. He survived federal prison, he survived the streets, and he survived the most cutthroat era of hip-hop to become the King of the South. But while he was busy conquering the world, a monster was growing inside his own palace. The rift between T.I. and his son, King Harris, isn't just a father-son disagreement. It is a clash of 2 different worlds that were never meant to coexist. On one side, you have Tip, a man who prides himself on logic, respect, and a calculated public image. On the other hand, you have King, a 21-year-old rebel who breathes fire, lives for viral moments, and refuses to live in anyone's shadow, even if that shadow belongs to a multi-platinum icon. The world saw the first